champions of the past. We have world champions of the present. Marissa Shields in the building. Marissa.
Jake Paul, it's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. You know what? If I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out of you.
No, he's fighting a 57-year-old champ now. What's
58.
Your 58? Don't want to take a year away from you, Mike.
He's fighting a guy that's almost 60 years old, and you know what I mean. I mean, that says it all. That says it all. There's nothing else that needs to be said. That's his shtick. That's his thing. He fights guys that are old, usually undersized guys, older, undersized guys. But he's fighting Tyson here, and him and Tyson are going to make a shitload of money.
A bunch.
Although everyone knew something was coming, none anticipated that the months-long online insult exchange between the two would become as serious as it has.
Fucking internet. If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living fuck out of a fucking goofy, fucking entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate.
This fight is particularly intriguing because, in contrast to the typical orchestrated hype jobs we've seen in the past, it features genuine tension, significant financial stakes, and some dubious provisions that will make you question whether this whole situation is a disaster waiting to happen.
You might have a fight on your hands.
That would go crazy.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. No, seriously.
I'm
let's
about
do
the
it.
action. Like I'm less talk now. That like
You just don't see it as a sustainable thing.
He fought Tommy Fury and lost. Where's that
Former kickboxer and self-described top G Andrew Tate has been at odds with Jake Paul for what seems like an eternity. What better way to demonstrate to the world Jake Paul's boxing prowess than to take on someone like Andrew Tate? Jake Paul has been on a quest to prove that he's not simply a man who's brilliant at fighting because of money and publicity. Tate likes to say that he is invincible, and the battle is scheduled to take place in Romania, but let's be honest. It's more about the tension than the setting. These two will have a fierce argument since they can't stand one another and don't trust each other.
All he fights are old guys and whatever, but listen, say what you want, he wins, and he makes money, so he's doing his thing.
Two brothers, one cage. Jake Logan, you Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet beefs. I'm really trying not to.
You could say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro,
don't worry about it.
No, I can't lie. Bro, I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful.
Andrew Tate has decided to bring transparency to the table by releasing the details of his fight contract, and it's a wild ride. The stakes are huge, the penalties are absurdly funny, and the clauses feel like something out of a mix of WWE drama and Shark Tank deals. Let's be real though, we all know why people are watching this fight: money. Tate and Jake Paul aren't doing this just for the clout. They're both cashing in with insane contracts that would make even the most experienced negotiators raise their eyebrows. This is where the real fun kicks off, as the business side of the fight is as entertaining as the match itself. With all the crazy clauses and high stakes, it's clear this fight is a huge money-making spectacle.
this is Andrew Tate.
Wow.
But here we are, so we can talk about that side note announcement. And please go watch the episode.
Hold on a second. What you mean you versus Andrew Tate? Because
No, I'm not saying a fight. I'm saying like our back and forth. He talks shit about me and like says he wants to beat my ass or can beat my ass and all this stuff.
I think there's a better fight to make.
The winner of this fight is set to take home a cool $10 million, but there's a twist in the contract. If the fight goes to the judges' scorecards instead of ending in a knockout, the winner only receives half that amount, $5 million. With that kind of cash on the line, neither fighter is going to let this one drag out. Both will be putting everything they've got into the fight because $5 million just doesn't have the same appeal as $10 million. This means every punch, every jab, and every feint is going to count. With such a huge financial incentive, don't expect either fighter to back down or take it easy. They're both hungry for the big payday and will be fighting as if their bank accounts depend on it, because they do. But here's the real kicker: the contract also includes random, no-notice drug testing. If either fighter was planning on using something shady to gain an advantage, they're in for a surprise. There's no room for shortcuts here, and any attempt at cheating could lead to disaster. The added pressure of this random testing ensures both Paul and Tate will have to rely solely on their skills and strategy to win, not any outside help. This fight is going to be a battle in every sense of the word, with both fighters fully aware of what's at stake.
If my brother doesn't fuck you up, I will. And it has to go down. But I don't think he gets in the ring with one of us. I think it's too big of a risk.
The stakes for a fight between Andrew Tate and Jake Paul are extremely high, and the penalties involved could have far-reaching consequences. If either of them fails a drug test, the fallout isn't just the loss of the fight, it could result in massive financial penalties and irreparable damage to their public image. For someone like Andrew Tate, who has spent years cultivating a top-tier persona, a failed drug test would be disastrous. Similarly, Jake Paul is fiercely protective of his undefeated record, and any hint of cheating would undermine his carefully built reputation. The risk of a failed test outweighs the loss of a single fight, making it clear why Tate would insist on such clauses in the contract. Tate is a strategist who understands the long-term importance of maintaining a clean image. This stipulation ensures there's no room for cheating, something that's especially crucial given the public nature of these high-profile matchups. As for Jake Paul, he's known for being a bit of a wild card, often bending the rules to his advantage, so the inclusion of such a clause is meant to ensure fairness. But that's not all. The contract also includes a strict one-fight clause. If Jake Paul knocks out Tate, or if Tate submits Paul, the fight is over, and there's no chance for a rematch. No second chances, no dragging things out. It's one and done, with the winner walking away with all the glory. The entire situation has a level of drama and intensity that rivals the most chaotic soap operas.
Hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, all of which would fuck you up. I'm one of the lucky ones. I made a little bit of money. I don't have 50 million to bet with you, but I do have 3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. 3 million.
This might add a great deal of interest. Consider it. The loser cannot say they were unfortunate or off their game if there is no rematch. There is no opportunity for them to turn things around and attempt to prove they are better than they seemed in the ring, and that is a lot of pressure, my buddy. Imagine being Jake Paul all the time, dealing with the label that says he's just a YouTuber, knowing that once you lose, that's it, our record of winning is ruined, and you have no second chance. Imagine Tate, the self-proclaimed top G, being knocked out by a yo-yo YouTuber turned boxer on the other side. The internet would go crazy.
You are desperate for a reality check. You know what? If I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out of you. This is the hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, all of which would fuck you.
The weight clause in the contract is no joke. Both fighters must make weight for the fight, or they'll lose 30% of their paycheck. This isn't some typical pre-fight drama you often see in boxing events. This is real, hard cash on the line. Failing to make weight means losing a significant portion of their earnings, and for fighters like these, who have carefully built their public image, such a failure can be devastating. Missing weight goes beyond just looking bad in front of the cameras. It sends a message of being unprepared. In boxing, where discipline and preparation are everything, showing up overweight signals a lack of commitment and effort. It's a direct challenge to the fighter's credibility. For someone like Tate, who prides himself on his discipline, it would be a public failure that erodes his reputation. Likewise, Jake, who's worked tirelessly to prove he's a legitimate boxer, would face serious damage to his credibility. A missed weight could destroy the trust fans and promoters place in them. When you can't even get your body into shape for a fight, how can anyone believe you're ready to step into the ring and win? The stakes here are high.
I think you're focused on boxing boxers, people that are in the space that you reside.
Jake, I know he's been talking shit about you, bro. Yeah. But with your blessing, can I beat the shit out of Andrew fucking Tate?
100%.
Let's not forget about the pay-per-view PPV clause, which makes this fight even more lucrative. Both fighters, Jake Paul and Andrew Tate, are set to receive 50% of the PPV sales. This means that every dollar fans spend to watch the fight goes straight into their pockets, making the payout potentially massive. With their massive social media followings, both Jake and Tate are bound to attract a huge audience. The hype surrounding this fight is already enormous, and with both fighters known for their controversial personalities, it's shaping up to be one of the most talked about matchups in recent memory. Given the build-up and the personal rivalries involved, we're likely looking at record-breaking PPV sales. This isn't just any fight, it's a battle of egos that has captivated fans worldwide. The money at stake will drive both fighters to not only bring their best performance inside the ring, but also ramp up their marketing outside of it. Expect constant promotion on their platforms, ensuring that everyone knows how high the stakes are. The tension between them will only grow, making this fight one of the most anticipated events in combat sports. If you're a betting person, this could be one to watch closely.
Just tend to keep those guards down, but he's comfy at that point.
If you thought celebrity boxing was just a joke, think again. This upcoming fight is shaping up to be one of the most intense, drama-filled matchups of the year. The terms of the contract alone are enough to keep you on the edge of your seat. At $10 million prize, no rematch, random drug testing, and heavy penalties for weight violations. These fighters are not just competing for glory, they're fighting for their careers, reputations, and future. The stakes have never been higher. This clash is much more than just a fight, it's a spectacle, an ego battle, and a money-making machine all rolled into one. Jake Paul, with his undefeated record, faces a tough challenge from Andrew Tate, who's determined to prove his own dominance. But with so much on the line, one wrong move could destroy everything they've worked for. This isn't just hype, it's a high-stakes showdown that could go down in history. Will Paul keep his undefeated streak intact? Can Tate prove he's truly unbeatable? Or will one of them make a catastrophic mistake that costs them everything? Whatever happens, one thing is for sure, this fight is going to be one for the history books. Share your thoughts in the comments and let's get the debate started.
You want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living out of a goofy, entitled